It's been a bit of a rush because we've got a draw to make tonight as well. But yeah, rearranged fixtures, so not a full contingent of games. But certainly next week we've got the two semi-finals. And we've got rearranged fixtures as well, so a lot to go for.
Should we talk through the results before we get to the big draw?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of people waiting, but I think we should spoil it for them a little bit longer.
Good to keep people waiting. Okay, so let's start in the Prem. Douglas Old Boys 1, Moran 3.
Yeah, this was the game I covered, and when I got there, Matthew McCrory had given Moran the lead within 5 minutes. Penalty, no doubt about it, was a handball, and no one argued. And Matthew scored to make it 1-0. But the game was pretty even from what I saw, and then a good equaliser by Old Boys. Craig Stewart it was who got it. Good cross in from the left-hand side, and Craig managed to get past the defender, got his foot to it, connected well, and made it 1-1. Second half was pretty even, chances for both teams. But then second penalty, again, didn't seem to be too much discussion saying it wasn't a penalty, and McCrory stepped up again to score his second. And as you can imagine, the crowd that was there from around went absolutely nuts because it was a big game for both these two sides. When you look at, the bottom of Canada Life Premier League with Old Boys winning today, it sort of puts them away from that danger spot, bottom 3, bottom 4. But there was another goal still to come, and it was Moran who got it in the last minute. I think it was Macaulay who got it. So it ended up Douglas High School Old Boys 1, Moran 3.
Aire 1, Corinthians 5.
8.
Yes, I do apologise.
My man next to me here, which helps. I'll introduce him in a minute. But we did have a correction score come in. And Sean Doyle got 4, 1 from the penalty spot. Dan Simpson got 2. Darren Kane got 1. And it was Kane Riding got the other one. Well, we've got Sean Doyle's dad here to do the draw for the Railway Cup, so we might as well ask him, how did his son get on today? 4 goals, Steve?
It was a good game, but it was probably closer than maybe the score is a fair reflection. Aire were unlucky as well to lose their keeper early on in the game, so I think that probably took a bit of confidence out of them. I think it was always Corinthians were very comfortable all the way through, so I think it was always going to be a Corinthians win, but I don't think you expect the score to finish 8-1. But some lovely football, and Aire were competitive and they'd put up a spirited performance nonetheless. And I think they're probably disappointed after the tight game from last week as well.
Yeah, it was a difficult sort of game to go into today because last week Corinthians just won. Sean scored in the last minute to make it 3-2. Tighter pitch, so it might not have suited the way Corinthians played, but it did.
It did. Tighter pitch. The guys were competitive all the way through, and they chased every ball. And even with 1 or 2 of the goals, they could have let the ball go and say, I'm not chasing it, but they never gave it. They never gave up. They chased every ball, and that even led to 1 or 2 of the goals where they chased and hunted down the ball. But and it was a good team performance. I think everybody contributed, and I think that some of the play was lovely.
Fantastic bit of overtime for Steve because he's going to make the big draw later on with the Descartes Railway Cup semi-final. So we'll put that on hold a little bit longer. But yeah, good result for Corinthians. Unfortunately, I haven't got Air scorer.
Moving on to Douglas Athletic Russian. Douglas Athletic 0, Russian 7.
Yeah, and it finished up 8-0. Goal came in, I think it was near enough in the last minute by Mike Williams. But Aaron Hawley's absolutely flying at the moment because he got 2 today. Hat-trick for him off the bench last week. So well done to Aaron. He's season pro. He plays Masters football, so well done to him. Jack Snidel got a goal for Davies. He's always on the score sheet wherever he plays. He got 2 today. Jack Kamada got 1 goal, and as I say, Mikey got 2. He got 1 right in the last minute. So Russian, tremendous performance once again, and I'm sure the boys are waiting to see what the cup draw is going to come up with.
And the final game in the Prem, we've got Ramsey 3, St George's 4.
Yeah, this is the one where we were keeping in contact with Steve throughout not throughout the afternoon, but told him what was happening because St George's needed a point. Well, they went 2 better. They got the 3 points, and good performance by them. 3-1 up at half time, so all the damage was done in the first half. Kieran McNulty again with 2. Cian Gagan, who had a brilliant performance today. Well done, Cian. He's 25? Always remember that because same age as my daughter. Nathan Cardy got a goal, so good performance by Geordies. Dylan Pickles with 2 for Ramsey, 1 from the penalty spot, and Luke Corlett got the other. And I'm hearing that Ramsey's goalkeeper today, 4 or 5 outstanding saves, so that score could have been a lot higher, but because he was in there, kept it down. But good win for St George's. and they go in the hat because this game did count for the Descartes Railway Cup, so it's good to get it out of the way.
Fantastic stuff. Moving on to Division 2, and Foxdale and Braddon, that was anticipated to be a close game, and it didn't disappoint. That finished 2 apiece.
Yeah, good performance. Speaking to Dave Goldsmith, and he said it was a great performance by Braddon. They were 2-0 up, Rianne, and it was 2-2 at half-time, I think. It was Foxdale, first goal scorer was Ricky Newsham. Liam Cannon got the other one. So that's points dropped by Foxdale, because when you look at it in the league, they were 6th and played 13, so they got games in hand. But those 2 points could prove massively at the end of the season. And unfortunately today, Braddon came up trumps with a good performance.
Moving on to Onchan Castletown. Onchan 4, Castletown 1 or 2?
Yeah, I think it's 2, because we've had 2 goal scorers in for Castletown. Alex Crawley got one. Tom Moore got the other one, but for Onchan it was Joe Rees with a couple of goals. Ethan Levers got one, and my old mate Bazar English got the other one. So another good performance by Onchan. And when you look at those league tables, Onchan were 4th at lunchtime, on 29 points, was it? Yeah, and now on 32. They're climbing up there, and they're starting to worry people like Ramsey Youth Centre, Colby, and Malou, who sat it out today. Moving
on to Ramsey Youth Centre, they beat Jims 4-1.
Yeah, Jake Gartland got the goal for Jims, but for Ramsey Youth Centre, I could tell by Andy Black's voice that he was a lot happier, because the way things have gone from of late, he's not been in good shape, because he expected them to be pushing hard, Union Mills at the top of the table. But Jason Crane with a goal, Stephen Gross got one, and Graham Kinnish it was who got the other one. And we're missing a goal scorer there, so we'll check the sheet later on. But important thing for Ramsey Youth Centre is that win.
Big win for Union Mills. They beat Pulrose 16-2. Yeah,
it wasn't too bad, to be fair. I know 16-2 sounds a heck of a scoreline, but Union Mills are top. Played 14 with 15 with 42 points, 95 goal difference up until today's game. So it's over 100 now. And today 3 lads with hat-tricks: Ryan Kelly, Sean Traylor, Jordan Crawley, all got a hat-trick apiece, so well done to them boys. Luke Booth got a couple of goals. Sam Kane, back from injury, he got 2. Dylan Campbell got 1. And Bailey Ashton, his debut, he's just turned 16. He's a bit of a relation of mine through marriage, so well done to Bailey. And I'm pretty certain that Dad, Richard, will treat you to something really nice. And if he doesn't, just let me know.
Moving on to Combi 1, the Russian.
I'll give you the 2 goal scorers for Polly if we can. We don't score many. Callum Harding got 1, and Adrian Simoni got the other one, and believe both goals well deserved, so well done to Polly.
Moving on to Combi 1 and the Russian Douglas Athletic game that's been postponed. So St George's 6, Ramsey 1.
Unfortunately, that's all the information we've got on that. So if you can text us through 166 177, and we'll give the guys who scored the goals a mention.
St John's 3, Douglas Old Boys 5.
I heard that St John's were 2-0 up on this one, so great performance by Old Boys to get it back in. But Isaac Quilliam with 1, Liam Buckley, Evergreen got a goal, James Bucharest got a goal, Jake Roberts and an own goal, so it finished off a worthy win for Douglas High School Old Boys 5-3.
Still missing the score for the Laxey Douglas Royal game.
We are, yep.
Okay, so if you do happen to have it handy, text in 166 177. And then finally in Combi 1, Moran 4, Peel 9.
And it was Joe Neal with a couple of goals for Moran. Alex Marley got one, and Noah Dale Beaton got the other one. For Peel, Danny Lane with a couple of goals. Tom Brown with 2, well done Tom. Alex Alongo got a goal. Lucas Watterson. Now, Lucas has played in the first team. He's, 16 years of age, I think he is, and now scoring goals in the combination. Far better player than his dad was. Much better.
You are stirring stuff today.
With 2 other boys in there as well, then he's done a good job. It's just a shame about his football career, but well, never mind. Alex Holden got 1. Harvey Pack, got a goal. And great result for Peel. Keeps the pressure on at the top of the table, but there's an awful big collapse going to have to happen with Corinthians to allow Peel back in, because Corinthians have played 14 for 42 and Peel have played 15 now for 32. So 10 points, but Corinthians will have a game in hand.
And then finally in Combi 2, we've got Braddon 2, Union Mills 6.
And the goal scorers for Union Mills, Jack Murray with a hat-trick, Andrew Maxwell with 2, Jackson Gatt got the other one, Adam Fair from the penalty spot, well done Adam, and Josh Brew got the other one.
Still missing Castletown versus
We are.
Onchan.
Yeah.
Yep. And then that leaves us with Colby 2, Gyms 4.
And it was 1-0 to Gyms at half time. Ross Crawford, normally playing in the first team in the combi today, he got a couple of goals. Shane McCormick got one, and Darren Christopher got the other. For Colby, it was Josh Glover and Lewis Dean who got the 2 important goals for them, but it wasn't enough to take the points away from Gyms.
And we've just had a text in for the Combi 1 game, St John's versus Douglas Old Boys. And St John's scorers were Liam Sale with 2, and I think he got a penalty as well, and also Harry Rothwell.
Oh my word, I work with Liam, so there'll be about 40 yarders by Monday comes or whatever. Well done, Liam.
Okie dokie. So let's move on to this big cup draw. So the Railway Cup is one of the biggest cup competitions in Manx football, with the final being played on Boxing Day. The semi-final includes the top 4 teams at the halfway stage of the season. This year promises to have 2 terrific games, with Corinthians, Russian, St Mary's and St George's all qualifying for the semi-finals. This year's competition will be sponsored by new sponsors Descartes. The semi-final draw will be made by Stephen Doyle, who you heard just earlier. Tony Meffin, would you like to take it away?
I certainly would. Just firstly, I'd like to thank Steve on behalf of the Isle of Man Football Association for taking up the sponsorship. It's a huge trophy, massive. Steve had some pictures taken the other day, and Steve, welcome to sponsoring Manx Football. How did it come about?
Thanks, Tony. Well, it's really by chance, really. Obviously, I love the competition. I love the Boxing Day camaraderie and get out after Christmas Day. And it was a conversation by chance just to say, when was the draw taking place? Had you got your 4 teams? And I heard there was still no sponsor. So I had a word with my co-directors, Pam and Paul, and our group, and said wouldn't mind getting involved. I think it's been a tough year for everybody, and for a lot of sporting clubs and associations, and lack of funding, and everybody said keen to give it a go. So I was delighted. We're delighted to be involved.
It's a great way to put money back into the community, because Rianne's involved in sports, Sam as well, to my right, and all sports are looking for sponsors, and I'm not saying business have got their part to play, but they can do it, and it's a great way to just help the sports out, who most sports I think now are struggling for money.
It's not just that. I mean, I think everybody, kids should all get involved in sport. I play sport, Mary plays sport, and all our boys have tried their hands at different sport. And, I think it's great for kids, great outlet, great for the mental stimulation, great for camaraderie and friendship with kids. And we make lifelong friends, as my guys have seen as well. So to get involved, and, particularly with the year that we've had in it, where people can't travel, they're looking for things to do, looking to get out. We're blessed to be over here where we can get together.
Absolutely.
And we can get a lot of people down at the bowl to watch a competition. So it was a great opportunity to jump at it.
Brilliant, and it's my favourite day of the year. I really do. I don't mind Christmas Day, but Boxing Day is my day.
Is your
Tina lets
Christmas
me
day.
go, and there's many times that I've been down to that bowl before it was Astro to clear snow off it, just to get a game of football on, and you enjoy the game, and then afterwards go and have a beer, go and have some bubble and squeak at home for tea, and then just collapse. But let's get everyone out of the misery. Steve, you've got the bag there with 4 balls in it.
Shake my balls, Tony.
Yeah, give him a good shake. Give him a good shake, and
I'll say good luck. Good luck to all 4 teams.
Exactly.
I think any one of the teams would be worthy winners, and I've obviously got friends in all 4 teams, so someone's going to give me grief with a draw.
Well, it is, because your son Connor obviously won this trophy many times for St George's. We've got your other son involved at Corinthians. You've got friends at Russian and St Mary's. So
well, yeah.
I think you're going to lose some friends, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Right, let's have the first one.
You pull out the first one. Number 3.
Number 3, and that's a home tie for St George's.
We'll play number 2.
Number 2 is Russian. So the first
Good job.
tie in the Descartes Railway Cup semi-finals to be played next week, Rianne, is St George's at home against Russian.
Next out of the bag, home, number 4.
Number 4 is St Mary's, so that one will be played at the bowl.
Leaves us to play number 1.
And hopefully that is Corinthians. So the 2 semi-final games next week in the Descartes Railway Cup is St George's against Russian and St Mary's at home against Corinthians.
What are you expecting from those games?
Well, 2 of the league leaders, if you like, which is Corinthians and Russian, have been kept apart. St George's at the moment, I know today, They were missing Sean Quay, who's suspended now. I would think Sean will be suspended next week. I think he got a couple of games, so that's a big loss for them. Huge player. With Russian at the moment, they're gathering momentum. You can see the performances of late and scoring plenty of goals. St Mary's against Corinthians, they met only 2 or 3 weeks ago. I watched that game. It was a great footballing game. St Mary's are good enough to beat the Whites, but Whites at the moment are playing really well, scoring plenty of goals. Would you agree with that, Steve?
I think it's a good draw. Hope Lane's happy with the way it's worked out. But I think Corinthians, will probably be happy with the draw as well and be confident after the last game against St Mary's. But it's 2 one-off games, so anything can happen.
Well, it is, and it's the pressure of the day. And their earlier kickoffs now, one of these won't, because the bowl's only available at 2:30 to play for St Mary's games. So that one will kick off at 2:30. But the St George's against Russian, I think it's down for 1:30 because there's no floodlights there. So 2 cracking semi-finals. We'll work on the rearranged fixtures for the rest of the games tonight. We'll try and get them out tonight if we can. But if not, it'll be first thing in the morning so everyone knows where they're going.